Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
City of Granville is settling an excessive force lawsuit against its police department. That federal lawsuit was filed in 2016 by a homeowner who was shot with a taser while his house was on fire. Robert Bird claimed police acted with reckless disregard when they shot him with a taser after he ducked under yellow police tape. Bird said he was trying to round up several pet cats that ran into the yard during that 2014 fire at his home. He was charged with disobeying and obstructing a police officer, but those charges were later dismissed. Under that agreement, Granville is not admitting any fault for its officers' actions.
Up to a
Cop tasers innocent dad in the back for rescuing his pets in house fire. Taxpayers held liable. For trying to save his pets while his house was on fire, an innocent father was tasered in the back, twice arrested, and charged with the crime. By Matt Agarist, January 18, 2018. Granville MI Robert W. Burt Jr., 63, was in his front yard gardening when he saw what appeared to be smoke billowing from his roof. So, he called 911 and proceeded to get his wife and daughter out of the house. However, when he would try to go back to rescue his pets, police would show up, taser him in the back twice and arrest him. Burt has just been awarded $75,000 in a settlement from the excessive force lawsuit he brought against the Granville Police Department for the incident which took place in 2014. His injuries were not that significant, but the insult and offensiveness of what happened were tremendous, attorney Kerry W. Sawyer said. The settlement reflects the wrongfulness of the act. That day, as his house burned, Burt was trying to round up his beloved pet cats and get them to safety. However, when Granville Police Sergeant Kenneth C. Howland showed up and told him to get off his own property, Burt wanted to make sure his pets were okay before complying. Burt told Howland that he had every right to be on the property because he owned it. As Burt continued to save his cats, Howland pulled out his taser and shot the 63-year-old father in the back. For trying to save his pets on his own property, Burt was tasered in the back, handcuffed, brought to jail, and charged with disobeying and obstructing a police officer. Advertisement. According to Sawyer, Burt was in no danger from the fire when Howland struck because the department had gotten most of it under control and was putting out hotspots when Howland arrived and tasered him. Read more, wheelchair-bound student beaten by school security, video. According to the lawsuit, as Burt began walking away along the west edge of the yard, the officer told him, "Stop or I'll tase you." The officer then pulled a taser from his holster and discharged the weapon, striking Burt in the back. Burt dropped to the ground and was trying to push himself up when he was struck a second time, according to the lawsuit. He did nothing to interfere, Sawyer said. Any allegation that he interfered is simply not true. It really was offensive that he was tasered not once, but twice in the back and then muscled around by a couple of police officers. Sawyer was right. After he was arrested, all charges against Burt were dropped. And now, a lawsuit has vindicated him as well. As WZZM reports, attorney Gus Morris, who represented the city, called the settlement a fair resolution for all parties involved. It was a case with uncertainty on both sides, Morris said. Based on the costs of going forward, we placed an offer on the table and the case was resolved. If you think police tasering and arresting people for trying to save their loved ones or pets never happens, think again. As TFTP reported at the time, on October 31, 2013, the house of Ryan and Kathy Miller caught fire. In that fire, their 3-year-old son, Riley Miller, was killed. The 911 call came in at 12:58 a.m. and firefighters showed up just 5 minutes later. Ryan Miller knew his 3-year-old stepson was trapped inside, and he was going to do whatever it took to get him out. However, as he kicked in the front door to the home in an attempt to save his child, police showed up. Read more, video, Cops savagely assault teenager and intimidate bystanders filming the brutality. As Miller tried to run back into the house, police grabbed him. Obviously, Miller pulled away from the officers as he and his wife's 3-year-old was trapped in a deadly inferno. That's when the taser came out. Miller was tasered several times as he fought to save his son. He tried to get back in the house to get the baby, Lori Miller, Riley's grandmother said. They took my son to jail because he tried to save his son. Even if Miller would have died trying to save his son, it was his right and duty as a father to do so. It's not just innocent civilians who are attacked for trying to stop fires around police officers either. Fire Chief Christopher Herzog was arrested in December 2016 for attempting to prevent a police officer from making a fire worse. Cannelton police officer Ryan Fowertsk was at the location of the fire and in plain clothes, not dressed as an officer, and was attempting to smash in one of the windows of the house, a move that could have obviously made the fire far worse by providing it with oxygen. Herzog arrived on the scene to witness the blunder and attempted to prevent the officer from literally adding fuel to the fire, and tried to get him away from the house. Sensing that his authority was being threatened, Fowertsk arrested the fire chief as the house continued to burn. To make matters worse, as the house burned, the police ordered the remaining fire crew off of the property, preventing them from doing their jobs and putting lives and property at risk. Officer Fowertsk then arrested Herzog and charged him with a felony for doing his job.
County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.